Hey, what is going on, freedom fighters? Welcome back to another Tyranny Response Tuesday here on Break the Chains Media. Today is Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. In this beautiful summer day here in July. I'm loving it. It's great. We've got some awesome stuff I'm happening to be doing later tonight. This is why we're moving into an earlier time slot, just because summer, a lot of things happening, but I wanted to still put out a video, still get in the know, still give you my 2 cents on the world and what's happening here. And let's be honest, folks, it is a little disheartening. It is a little it's a little frustrating. It's a little sad when we're sitting here watching the literal shitstorm that is the current affair with Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino. Every day we wake up and there's another. Well, we're just gonna like Charlie Kirk. What was Charlie Kirk saying? I'm just gonna let my friends in the government handle this, or I trust my friends in the government, folks. I don't trust anyone in government. Even if they were, the most famous Rumble live stream podcaster, right? Or if they were the most notarized celebrity for, NBC's Celebrity Apprentice. It doesn't matter. I do not participate in celebrityism. I do not participate in idol worship. I don't do that. I just focus and hope that these people that are appointed to elected positions will do the best for the American public and the people at large, and will be honest and trustworthy and overall net good for society. That is only thing I can hope for. That is the only thing I want to see happen in this world. But when we're getting people in positions of power who are telling us, literally contradicting themselves in regards to the Epstein files, in regards to the public releasing of information, Pam Bondi with this public display of this phase 1 humiliation ritual. I felt like it was a humiliation ritual, bringing these conservative podcasters and conservative influencers in to the White House to hand them these binders, to do all this, and then leave basically the largest steaming pile of shit, everything after phase 1. So we're going to talk about what phase 2 is or was. We'll talk about what phase 3 is or was. And we're obviously making jokes. We're making allusions to the next steps and what's going on right now and what's happening for the future in regards to the Epstein file and the releasing of information, and how I think the most intelligent way to go about this moving forward. We're going to get into all that here on Break the Chains Media on this live stream here on Tyranny Response Tuesday. You can catch Break the Chains Media Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays here on Rumble. We're also doing it live on X. I believe we're still kicking the tires and lighting the fires on X as well. So anyone in the chat on X, say hello, welcome. And then on YouTube as well. We're crossing streams, as it were. Well, not with another personality yet, but that is in the works. We are in the works, getting some guests involved on Break the Chains Media, because talking for an hour by myself with just stream of consciousness, it is a skill. It is something that you have to learn and educate yourself into to keep people like you entertained. So with that being said, folks, hit that follow button. Join us on Break the Chains Media. Give me a thumbs up. Follow the channel, follow the page, share this with everyone you know, everyone who would enjoy this kind of content. If you do like Break the Chains Media, you want to support the channel, check out Realm Walker Hot Sauce. We have a channel on Instagram, Realm Walker Hot Sauce. You can also go to breakthechains.media. You can find the landing page here from Realm Walker Hot Sauce. You can go to breakthechains.media, my website. All of the socials are here. All the articles are here. All the good stuff is here if you are interested in supporting the channel. But without further ado, we are going to jump right into it. Follow me on X, Break the Chains M, and this is kind of where we're sitting at today, folks. I left y'all with this information that we were talking about, this zombie creature that the prosecutor here in Colorado decided to let go because of the fact that this person didn't have they basically didn't have a means to defend themselves because they were too fucking stupid. All right, they didn't have drops charges because of their incompetence. They were found incompetent for this trial. So the prosecutor just, you know what, we're just going to drop the charges, even though this person walked into a school and attempted kidnapped an 11-year-old boy last year. So you got evil people running in our neighborhoods right now. Okay, evil people running around our neighborhoods and in our country. So there's a lot of disgusting, slimy shit happening in our world, and I'm going to still bring all this information to light. We've got Rand Paul will be reissuing criminal referrals to Anthony Fauci after the pardon was confirmed to be issued by a late-night auto pen. And this whole auto pen thing, like, this is a huge issue with the whole auto pen thing. And I don't know why this is just constantly spinning like this. But you have auto pen and the whole scandal with Biden basically saying there's a group of people. All right, let's see if we can get it now, actually.
The gain of function research was going on in that lab, and NIH funded it.
That is
you can't
not
get away from it. It meets your definition, and you are obfuscating the truth.
I'm not obfuscating the truth. You are the one. I'm not obfuscating the truth. You are the one.
Listen to it. Look at him shaking. Look at him shaking.
The gain of function research.
Rand Paul's bringing up a good point, and the fact is that there is so much evil and so much corruption going on right now, and with what we're dealing with Epstein, with what we're dealing with, this constant flow of overwhelming levels of media, we have to discern this appropriately and discern this effectively, because what's happening right now is it's essentially we are being bombarded with trying to figure out the next step forward. Okay? You got Hakeem Jeffries, you got the Democrats, you got Ro Khanna, the Democrat Ro Khanna, issuing trying to add an amendment to have Congress vote to release the Epstein files. Okay, that was voted on today. It was shut down by I think it was 7-5 in the committee. However, that doesn't mean that it's dead. And what I think is important to understand is that you have Democrats now saying, release the Epstein files. You have Kevin Spacey on X right now. Release the Epstein files. You got Alan Dershowitz. Release the Epstein. Everyone's saying release the Epstein files. They have to be brought out to the public, because that's the only way that's the only way we're gonna let this situation be settled. Well, folks, I think everyone who's in the know, everyone who understands, no one will ever be fucking satisfied with whatever answer that's being given. If, hypothetically, they do release the Epstein files, it doesn't matter what's released. It could be everything, it could be nothing, it could be made up, it could be space invaders from Mars, right? It doesn't matter, because no one's going to be happy if it's not the people they're expecting. If it's not the people that the Democrats are expecting, they're going to say something was covered up. If it's not the right, if it's not the Bill Gates, the Clintons, all of the people that conservatives think we're going to be on the files, it's not going to be enough. Okay? No one's going to be satisfied. So what do we do? Well, I think the only thing to do is understand that there is sensitive information in these files, and I think Ro Khanna brought up a very good point. I think Tim Poole had him on earlier today, but he was basically saying that they don't want any of this information to be any exculpatory information, whether it's incriminating, people under investigation, or further harming of these people who were victimized, right? We don't want to put these people's names out there. Now, I'm pretty sure, and I'm speaking for everyone involved, I do not want to see any sort of child pornography or any sort of graphic material. When Pam Bondi says we're not going to release these hours of pedophile videos, no shit, Sherlock. We're not asking for you to release, child child abuse pornography. That's disgusting. No one's asking for that. We're asking for who was Jeffrey Epstein in connection with, and who was he navigating his blackmail and sex rings with. Because no one, let's put it this way, no math teacher in the 90s suddenly just says, you know what I want to do? You know what my side hustle is going to be? Extortion and blackmail. And I'm going to be the world's most prolific extortionist and blackmail operator in the known Western world. I'm really sick and tired of teaching math. I want to be a blackmail extortionist, right? No one just sits there and just does this. He was procured through intel agencies, let's look at I've been writing notes, folks. I've been writing notes. Okay? Let's see here. So this is kind of just like a lot of my thoughts. It's kind of just like an open book, literally, of just like where I'm coming from with this. But you had Leslie Wexner, you got the Mega Group, you got the company named Carbon. Okay, Leslie Wexner was working. So Leslie Wexner basically gave Jeffrey Epstein power of attorney with all of his finances and monies and goings on. Basically says, blank check, do whatever you want with my money. Leslie Wexner, very powerful individual working with the group called the Mega Group and Carbon. Okay, Robert Maxwell was Ghislaine Maxwell's father, worked with Mossad, Israeli assets, and he was his death. I have an article pulled up here. His death. There it is. What really happened with the crooked tycoon Robert Maxwell fell to his death from a yacht. 30 years ago, Robert Maxwell, father to Ghislaine Maxwell, fell off his yacht, but was it an accident, suicide, or something more sinister? This is from The Mirror, okay? Media mogul who owned the company, the Daily Mirror. Oh, how funny is that? Interesting, right? So this is obviously going to be a spin piece for it, but Maxwell's larger-than-life celebrity figure soon went to hero to villain when he's found out that he had looted millions from the Mirror's pension fund to prop up his debt-ridden business empire. His treachery, condemned for many workers, with Spanish authorities wrung foul play and his family insisting he would never take his own life. Conspiracy theorists abound to this day. Here, former Daily Mirror reporter John Jackson recalls being at the center of the storm which gripped the world. So this is a whole article here. I'm not going to go into that, but I have the article pulled up right now. We will jump back into that in just a moment. But Ghislaine Maxwell procured girls for the blackmail ring. Ghislaine Maxwell was a submarine licensed operator. She also has a helicopter license operator. She's now in a lower facility prison in connection to the Epstein ring. Okay, Virginia Giuffre was suicided weeks ago, right? She was procured from Mar-a-Lago in the 90s by Ghislaine Maxwell. So this is how unique this story goes, like spools together, right? Ghislaine Maxwell in the 90s, prior to Trump disavowing and distancing himself from Epstein, Trump was in the Maxwell. Trump was with Ghislaine Maxwell. Trump was photographed with Jeffrey Epstein. These are the known knowns, as Donald Rumsfeld would have put it, right? Was it Donald Rumsfeld? There are known knowns, and then there are unknown knowns, and there are unknown unknowns, and there are known unknowns. All these different things. For anyone who knows the speech or the testimony I'm referencing, it talks about the CIA, it talks about intelligence gathering, it talks about information and intel. Right now, what we're doing, folks, is we are doing what's called a war game strategy. We are doing a war game strategy for what I would consider the end game or the long game of this Epstein-Maxwell information gathering, right? And procurement of minors and procurement of blackmail operations with these individuals, okay? And folks in the chat, let me know your thoughts. If you guys know more than I do, if you guys are questioning what I'm bringing up right now, let me know. Let's have a conversation in the chat. I see you all here. Hello, welcome to Break the Chains Media. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this kind of content. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays on Break the Chains Media on X, YouTube, and Rumble now. So let's fucking go. Let's kick the tires and light the fire. Dude. Let's go. So, with this piece of paper here, with what I have written down, Jeffrey Epstein had properties in New York, Little St. James Island, Palm Beach, New Mexico, Paris, and potentially Israel West Bank. Unsure about that as of yet, but here's the meat and potatoes, folks. There is a lot to this story. There is a lot of information to understand or to digest. At the end of the day, you had, what was it, Mahmoud Barak, former Israeli intelligence. Let me see. Let me pull this up here. Or not former Israeli intelligence. Israeli Prime Minister. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. So, hold on. I'm trying to pull it up right now because Mahmoud Barak was his name, I think. Oh, Naftali Bennett. Yeah. So, here. Just a former Israeli prime minister in his way. I'm not going to read that. This was a photo. He's covering his face. I think his name was Mahmoud Barak. Why can't I find it? But Ehud Barak. Okay. So there is photos, there is evidence, but right now he's coming out denouncing any connection with Mossad, any connection with Epstein, any connection with blackmail operations, as one does. Okay? And I'm just type this into X and I'm just scrolling. Okay? So this is basically, I'm not sure about that. And I don't, let's take a beat here. Hold on. Let's take a beat. Okay. We are witnessing right now a dragnet, a system of operational control to close down the intelligence gathering and the information spread, the fire, the media coverage of this story, because right now there's a lot of hot water, turmoil, tumultuous behavior when it comes to unfavorability with the Israel state, the IDF, Mossad, pre and like post Gaza, post Palestine, and then you had the whole Iran conflict that we just had to deal with, and now we have the Epstein thing, one of the largest, I think. When people say it's an esoteric or it's a side issue or it's a tangential issue to politics right now, I think this would fit right in hand with foreign policy. Okay, Epstein's blackmail ring ties right into foreign policy and how America procures and treats its neighbors and allies, and how we finance certain influences or instances, whether it's military or military funding or humanitarian aid or effort, right? I think the most important thing we have to take away from this is we are never going to exactly get the truth, no matter what. There will never be the truth. Okay? We will never witness the truth when it comes to Epstein. We are never going to get the exact answer that we want. It's no different. Arguably it's modern. It's the modern day. I would not say it's the same ramifications of 9/11 or like, you know, the death that incurred on 9/11, the trauma, the tragedy, the openly disgusting display that unfolded post 9/11 with the Patriot Act and the TSA and all of these things. However, I would say arguably it's psychologically as important and as impactful, and we will never know the real truth to Jeffrey Epstein and what was going on here. All we can do is infer. We can gather intel. We can make intelligent guesses and assumptions. But these are all allegedlys and maybes and hypotheticallys until we actually get the information. And I think we all are in agreement that there is no bullet pointed list of these were all the people that were on the flights, and these were all the people that did X, Y, and Z illegal activities. And what we have are the assumption, and right now we have information. It's on the internet of flight logs with the Lolita Express, flight logs and incriminating evidence with high profile celebrities, high profile politicians. You had many different people going in and out, but that does not necessarily incriminate them in the blackmail operation, correct? That does not incriminate anyone. The incriminating evidence would be the videos, and like I've said this weeks ago, no one wants to see the video evidence and say, oh, well, sure as shit, that person there is boinking a 13-year-old. We don't want to see that. But the public wants to address the fact that their government is being manipulated by a blackmail sex operation extortion ring. And we do not want to live under that. That is 100% truthful. Thumbs up in the chat if you guys agree with that. I think that's a bipartisan agreement. We do not want to be operating under a country who is being held captive by blackmail extortion experts, regardless of wherever country, whatever intel operation, whatever it is. In my list right here, I have listed off all of the potential connections and how many different places these kind of information would be sitting. MI6, IDF, the Five Eye intelligence groups, CIA, the NDI, the FBI, Mossad, okay, the Saudi officials. I mean, there are multiple different governments, multiple different factions within governments. It's not just the FBI. It's not just the DOJ. There are many different pieces to this puzzle, and this is what I'm trying to bring full circle here. When I try to speak about this, and let's cut to Dollar Store Obama trying to make it about one or the other, right? And this is what I'm trying to separate us from. It's not everyone on the list is Democrat. It's not everyone on the list is a Republican. And this is first order thinking, okay? To assume that it's going to be. Right now, the Democrats are trying to weaponize this and say Trump's on the list, Trump's trying to cover it up, and Trump's bad, okay? Because that's what the Democrats do, okay? Democrats weren't talking about Epstein for 4 fucking years with the husk and the empty shell of a president that Biden was. They didn't bring up shit during Biden's administration, not a peep. Well, to be honest, Biden wasn't even really in charge, but let's listen to Dollar Store Obama here, try to give his reasoning as to why we need to, now all of a sudden release the Epstein files.
The American people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth as it relates to this whole sordid Jeffrey Epstein matter. Democrats didn't put the Jeffrey Epstein thing into the public domain. This was a conspiracy that Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and these MAGA extremists have been fanning the flames of for the last several years. And now the chickens are coming home to roost. The American people deserve to know the truth. What, if anything, is the Trump administration and the Department of Justice hiding? what are you hiding? If you're not hiding anything, prove that to the American people. And if you are trying to hide something, as many of Donald Trump's MAGA supporters apparently believe, then the Congress should actually work hard to try to uncover the truth for the American people. There are only two things that are possible here.
So, and what happens? What happens when you uncover the truth, and your boy Bill Clinton was on it? What happens when we uncover the truth, and Tucker Carlson was on it, or Bill Gates was on it, or Kevin Spacey, right? What happens when we get these catalysts, the domino effect of the unraveling, as it were, right? Because right now, Hakeem Jeffries is saying that, like, Trump's hiding it because all of his buddies are on it. And to be fair, I'm not fully disagreeing with that sentiment. Alan Dershowitz is allegedly involved. Steve Bannon is allegedly involved. Elon Musk is allegedly involved. Donald Trump himself is allegedly involved, right? However, to what degree, how many different rings of influence do you know? Like, say, okay, here's a good. We're gonna finish, and I'll go to my example. Okay, let's finish what Dollar Store Obama has to say.
Option one: Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, and the MAGA extremists intentionally lied to the American people for years about the Jeffrey Epstein situation. That's option one. Option two,
it's hilarious,
is that, in fact, there's reason for the American people to be concerned as it relates to what
the fuck is he saying?
Information has not been released.
What are you saying?
That could be damaging to the Trump administration.
See, it's all
and the
pointing
friends
at Trump.
And family of the Trump administration.
It's all pointing
and
at Trump.
Billionaire corrupt supporters.
Uh-huh.
And so they're actively engaging in a cover-up. Option one, they lied for years.
But he doesn't even address the fact that literal Bill Clinton's literally on the Lee Express
It
flights.
seems reasonable that can only be one of the two
RFK.
things. And so it's Congress's responsibility.
All right, that's enough. Okay, here's the thought that I was. This is my thought and what I was gonna say. Okay, so in my years of service industry, I have known many of people. Okay, I have circled many of friends circles. Right, I don't like being like, oh well, I know this guy, or I'm not one to talk a big game about that, but I will say that I've served Slipknot, I've served Five Finger Death Punch, I've served Train, I've served Foreigner, the band Foreigner, not just Foreigners, but Foreigner. I've also served Kevin Bacon. You guys remember the game 4 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, or 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, right? And you have to be like, oh well, and so on and so forth. Long story short, there's circles within circles of people who you can string your associations with to Kevin Bacon. Well, I've served this man, and I've hung out with this man, and I've taken pictures with this man. I am not an associate of Kevin Bacon's, but I've been around him, right? Celebrity, right? At what degree, if you were to switch that name from insert celebrity here to Jeffrey Epstein, the degrees of Jeffrey Epstein, at what point do we get direct information, extortion and blackmail, and involvement with the pedo island and the underground tunnels and the Ghislaine Maxwell procurement of minors? We have people that were uniquely and intimately involved with Epstein on that level. But then you also had Jeffrey Epstein's, the mechanic who worked on his plane, or you had the cook that served buffets and private dinners on the island, or his or the person who took his vehicles that were parked in his Paris, a Paris apartment. The degrees of knowledge, the degrees of working within Jeffrey Epstein's circle, right? Versus the ones who are actually procuring minors and involved with the recording and filming of private cameras and blackmail extortion, right? So I'm just trying to be real and level with us that, like, there most likely is not a list, but the involvement and the files that have Epstein's name on them have a lot of people's names. Some of them might be more nefarious than others, right? Kevin Spacey brought that up. Like, let's look it up right here. I'm gonna pull it up right fucking now. Okay. Okay. Can I type? If you guys like hanging out with me, hit that thumbs up button. Hang out with me. Hang out with me more. Okay. Be a part of Break the Chains Media. Be a part. Join us. Okay. Like right here. Okay. This is the kind of shit we need to like be honest with ourselves, right? Kevin Spacey 11 hours ago released the Epstein files, all of them. For those of us with nothing to fear, the truth can't come soon enough. I hate to make this about me, but the media clearly already has. Well, I wouldn't say just the media, but I would say you were involved with this for a very long time. Okay? You know they aren't going to come out, so now pretend you want them. See, and this is I think the double narrative, right? Now you've got these people coming out saying, "Oh, release them. You got to release them," knowing that they're not going to be released, knowing that the information won't be released. Okay. And then you got the redhead libertarian just bringing the fucking receipts. Bringing the fucking receipts. Kevin Spacey fears no one. Kevin Spacey accuser dead. Massage therapist suing Kevin Spacey dies. Kevin Spacey won't face criminal charges groping case after accuser's death. Kevin Spacey accuser dies of suicide. Let's put it this way. Who's more in a more threatening position? People get on Kevin Spacey's massage therapist or Hillary Clinton's personal aides, right? The amount of suicides around some people are just kind of too coincidental, and that's what I have written here. Is that the information I have written here? It's like, at what point do we have to start asking what is a coincidental suicide and what is like what's really fucking going on? And this right here is a prime example. So, in my humble opinion, I think there are people saying release the files because knowing that they won't, right? Same thing with Alan Dershowitz, right? Alan Dershowitz saying the same thing. Now I might, he says he's not. He says he knows the people that are in there. Let's see. Yeah, let's see here, because he's got a. What does he say? Wait, hold on. Was this new? Is this new?
No, there is no.
Is the government hiding a client list or anything that the Trump administration could release tonight?
No, there is no client list. There never has been a client list. A client list suggests that Jeffrey Epstein made a list of people to whom he trafficked women. What there is a redacted FBI affidavit from accusers. There are several of them from accusers that accuse Jeffrey, that accuse various people of having improper sex, and that.
Pausing that, we're going to let him continue, but I think he's trying to cover his own ass. I think Dershowitz is trying to cover his own ass. There's accusers in there saying bad things about people, and they might not all be true, right?
Has been redacted. The names of the people accused have been blacked out. Now, of course, because I was the lawyer and I did all the investigations, I know who all these people are. I could figure out, based on everything that I saw, who Mr. X is, Mr. Y is, and Mr. Z. I can tell you right now, none of them are public figures who are currently in office. Some of them were
it was Bill
previously
Clinton
in office. Some of them are dead. But there is no client list. And the redactions could be undone if you go to court. So
I just think that this is we're rehashing some older information, and I don't want to give you older information. I want to break it down very, very simply and very clearly. Okay? I genuinely believe that we will never get the whole answer to this situation. I think that if we continue to spiral and to get wound around the axle regarding this, I don't think it's going to be healthy in the long run. That being said, I am never, and I will never, and I'm going to say it again and again, do not give up. Do not give in. Continue talking about it. Continue bringing these questions, these important and real questions to light, making valid and honest observations as to what's really going on, as to the real connections involved with this global sex trafficking, blackmail, extortion ring. Okay? We need to be fully aware of what's happening in our world today. Okay? And to have people in power, to have corruption at the top of our upper echelons of government, to have that be a part of our government is evil. To have a government who covers and does the bidding based on blackmail and sex blackmail and extortion is evil. Good men must do difficult things against evil, and this is our fight. On that note, if this is all we do and we don't rest, we are no different than single party voters, or the people that only vote for abortion. Only vote. It doesn't matter what this as long as you're pro-abortion. I don't care if you if you murdered your entire family and you have offshore tax evasion. As long as you're pro-abortion, I'm going to vote for you. If we stand on this one principle, I think that it is an overall flaw in the grander scheme of things. If we continue to not focus on the larger issues at play and I'm trying to still trying to navigate the full scope of what we need to do moving forward. And I think a lot of it has to do with returning to honest politics, honest networking with local and like-minded people who believe and sincerely think the same way, who have the same like-minded thoughts, because there's always going to be evil in the world, and I think the good in this world and bringing truth to power and bringing the conversations to the table and having these difficult conversations in more of a mainstream narrative, in more of a mainstream light is important. To have hypothetically, let's think about this. To have the DOJ, let's say they release all the information. They're gonna send it all out. To have the FBI and the DOJ completely redirect and restructure their resources to ousting and to arresting everyone involved with Epstein would have to be hundreds of people, if not thousands of people involved. Like I was mentioning earlier, he's got different rings of association. What ring of association do you stop and say, oh, that was just the mechanic, or oh, that was just the pilot, or oh, that was just the person that went to lunch with him that one time? How do you know the level in which these people are co-opted or involved in the deeper, darker underbelly of Epstein's deeds, right? So I'm just saying the DOJ and the FBI would have to basically overnight do a midnight hammer, if you will, do an FBI midnight hammer and immediately arrest everybody all at once. And I don't think that that's likely. I don't think that that's a priority at this rate. You see it right now with them just poo-pooing it and putting it all on the wayside. That's what's happening right now, is basically saying we don't have the influence, we don't have the capabilities, we don't have the information. Why would they release information like this if they don't have the means to act upon it? It's not in our best interest. And it sounds like I'm trying to run cover and defend for it. I'm not. But I'm saying, like, to release this information is not beneficial if they cannot act on it. If they can't act on the releasing of the Epstein information, what is the point of releasing it? Only basically showing the hand to people who might be involved on any and all sides. I just don't think it's in our best interest unless they have everything they need to move effectively forward. Now, that being said, knowing that there's still evil in the world, we still have to call out the evil in the world. That doesn't mean we're not going to stop talking about it. Thumbs up. Give me a fucking thumbs up in the fucking video here if you agree, because we will never stop talking about it. And that's the truth. So we'll put it like this. Phase 1 was releasing a bunk-ass bunch of old information to conservative influencers, basically using them as a ruse to pump up this narrative. Phase 2 was nothing. Epstein files don't exist. It was all a ruse given to you. It was made up by Obama and Comey and the Clintons. It was all made up, and none of it's real. There is no list. Phase 2 is essentially fuck you. Phase 3, stop connecting the dots. Stop doing investigations. Stop tying it to foreign intelligence agencies. Stop making the blackmail ring more nefarious than it actually is, and compromising political parties. Stop compromising government officials or corporate CEOs or intelligence agencies, international, beyond borders. Right? That's phase 3. We can't get into phase 3. Phase 4 is exposing all of this and having a global dragnet of arrests happen all simultaneously, all at once. And then everyone skips through the fields hunky-dory. All the pedophiles are arrested. All the evil is gone, and the world is good again. Frodo threw the ring in Mount Doom, and the eagles have flown us back to safety. Everything is good in the world, and let's go have a beer. Is that really how we assumed it was going to take place? No. In my opinion, that is a pipe dream to think that all the evil of the world is gone. Once this ring is exposed, all the world is good. No, evil will continue to persist. Unfortunately, all we can do is press back, press against it, expose the evil for what it is, bring light to the corruption. Okay? Continue talking about it. Never giving up. Making sure people are aware, people get educated, and we are honest with our investigation. I don't want to be skewed. I don't want to be labeled or skewed as a shill for this or that or the other. It's the fact of trying to be honest. And I'm pro humanity. I am pro freedom. I am pro liberty. I am pro truth. And I want to make sure that evil Satanist scumbags and deceptive, manipulative, cult-like evil is ousted, is called out. And that's the kind of world I want to be a part of. That's the kind of truth that is what Break the Chains is. Break the chains. Be part of the change you wish to see in the world. Folks, I appreciate you joining me. I know it's kind of a ranting, random-ass video, but I think I'm just going to keep doing this kind of, until I get my co-hosts, until I get my I'm bringing some people on it's in the works, but I'm trying to get some, basically having back and forth banter is what really makes these channels awesome. But I I can talk for an hour, so I might as well do it. I might as well talk for an hour. But with that being said, folks, share this with everyone because we have to just, like I said, keep talking about it. Be aware of what's happening. Be aware of, and don't fall into celebrity. Don't fall into cultism. Don't say trust the plan. Don't do anything. The only thing you can focus on is empower and build your network, your coalition around people you trust in your circle, in your inner rings. Build that community around you. Be a part of that. Making progress in the world around you is all we can really do. With that, folks, I am heading out to the Chainsaw Caucus event so I can start cutting and slashing through all the Colorado bullshit that we're dealing with in the world here in Colorado. So with that, folks, I love you. I appreciate you. Never give up. And as always, fight for freedom.